Being a mushroom farmer, it's like you've got a whole lot of children that you have to look after all the time. Hi, I'm Buttons from the Mushroomery. I'm going to show you how we grow mushrooms here. Come along. So, mushrooms are the fruiting body of mycelium. So they're kind of like an apple is a fruiting body of an apple tree. The difference with mushrooms is they're neither plant nor animal. They're somewhere in between, which is super cool. We use straw to grow on because it's what the mycelium eats and lives on. And we inoculate it with grain spawn, which is kind of like mushroom seed. So I'm starting to inoculate and I'm just spreading my grain over. So we're using buckets to try and cut down on plastic waste. It's a big undertaking washing so many buckets, but by doing that, we are saving 100 plastic bags from going into landfill every week. So that's one bucket out of 100 done today. So the next thing I'm doing today is going through the buckets in the incubation chamber looking for pinning buckets. So pinning is when the mushrooms just start to fruit. See, this little cluster has just started to poke its head out. You can even see down here, these ones have started. And so when I find the ones that are pinning, I'll just stack them up like this and get them ready to go to the next room. Many years ago, I was a bartender and a costume designer. I was feeling a little disinterested in bartending and wanted to find a new career path. And I just started growing a whole lot of veg in my backyard. And I got so hooked with growing vegetables. And then there was this little space down the side of the house. I was like, what can I grow here in this awkward little space? And somebody said to me, oh, why don't you try and grow mushrooms? So then I converted that whole side of the house into a greenhouse. And I was growing between 10 to 40 kilos a week of mushrooms in that space. A lot of bucket lifting in mushroom farming. It's where we get our weights done. All right, we're in the fruiting chamber. As you can see, the mushrooms are fruiting out of these buckets. They just come out the little holes at the sides of the buckets. So these are oyster mushrooms. We've got tan oysters. Tans grow all year round though, they're super versatile. We've also got whites, we've got Olmarius, we've got some Shimijis down here, which are one of my favourites. They're a winter variety. We've also got some blue monsters here. It is a little hard to tell the difference, but the blue monsters have a much thicker cap. They're a lot more chewy in texture. So a good thing to know about growing your own mushrooms is oyster mushrooms are some of the most prolific mushrooms you can buy, and you'll get the most off them and they'll grow the fastest. I sort of recommend growing tan oyster mushrooms if you're just starting out. They're the most reliable. They grow all year round in Melbourne. At home, if you're growing your own little kit, you can mimic the humidity just with a little misty spray bottle of water, and by misting your bucket twice a day. And that's all you need really if you're just growing at home. Some good ways to cook oyster mushrooms. I suppose people are really caught up on this thing with oyster mushrooms of thinking that they're just good for stir fries. They're actually super versatile. You could do anything with them, anything from stir fry to risotto, throw them in with your roast. I'm really loving them roasted at the moment until they're nice and golden brown. Or they're just really lovely sauteed with butter and garlic on toast. Being a mushroom farmer, it's like you've got a whole lot of children that you have to look after all the time, and they're very needy. So it's a lot harder to go for like a holiday or, you know. So this is our harvest for today. It looks like it's probably about 3 kilos. I suppose I like it a lot more than bartending because I'm not working till 6 a.m. every morning. Instead, I'm getting up at 6 a.m. and going to the farmer's market.